I'm not telling this because I want attention. I'm telling it because I can't carry it alone anymore. Because I don't sleep. Not really. Silence doesn't exist for me now. When it gets quiet, I hear the woods again. I hear him, my brother, Tyler, disappeared 46 days ago on a solo hunting trip in northern Maine. They wrote the report like they always do. Likely exposure, wildlife, accidental loss. A tidy sentence for a person erased from the world. But I know what happened to him. I know because I heard his voice after he went missing. And it wasn't him. Tyler was made for the wilderness, raised in it, proud of it, lived for it. He always said the woods were honest, no fake smiles, no lies. If something wanted you dead, it didn't pretend otherwise. Funny thinking about that now. When he missed his check-ins, I didn't panic at first. He'd gone radio silent before, but after 3 days, my stomach felt like a fist was twisting inside it, and I knew something was wrong. I called Chase and Logan, 2 guys who'd hunted with Tyler more times than I could count. They didn't ask questions, just packed their gear and said they'd drive. The deeper we got into the pines, the quieter everything became. No wind, no birds, no bugs. Just a dead stillness, like the world was holding its breath. By the time we reached the trailhead, the sun was bleeding out behind the ridge. The shadows looked wrong, long and sharp, like claws stretching across the ground. We hiked in silence, following the GPS coordinates from Tyler's last known location. When we found the campsite, my stomach dropped. The tent was shredded, not cut, torn. Fibers pulled apart like something yanked them with raw force. No footprints, no drag marks, just disturbed earth and pine needles, like something had moved through without touching the ground. We set camp beside the ruined tent because we didn't know what else to do. We weren't ready to accept the truth yet, or maybe we were too stupid to see it. When night settled, it wasn't dark, it was smothering, the kind of black that feels like it presses against your skin. We sat around a small fire, rifles within reach, listening to the woods breathe, and then we heard it, a voice, weak, strained, breaking. Help. Chase shot to his feet. Tyler? The fire popped. The woods answered with silence. Then again, closer. Help, please. I felt my blood turn to ice. It was his voice, but wrong, like someone wearing it instead of speaking with it. Logan raised his rifle toward the tree line. That's not him. Chase shook me off when I tried to pull him back. He could be hurt. He could be dying out there. He sounded desperate enough to run blind into the black. Think, I whispered. Does that sound like Tyler to you? He didn't answer, because we both knew the truth. Tyler didn't beg, not like that. The woods went quiet again, too quiet. Then, a crack of wood to our left, slow and deliberate. Not a footstep, something heavier, something savoring the moment. We formed a defensive circle by instinct, backs to the fire. Every second stretched like hours. Then in the dark, just beyond the first line of trees, we heard it again. Brother! My lungs froze. Tyler never called me that. Not once in our entire lives. Something moved. Branches shifting, snow crunching, each step measured, patient, hungry. Chase whispered, Ty? Silence. Then, here! A shape slid between the trunks, tall and wrong. Limbs too long, posture bent like it was trying to remember how bodies worked. The firelight caught its outline. Bone, skin stretched thin, hollow chest rising and falling like forced breath, a face pale and long, eyes sunk too deep, mouth too wide like hunger carved into flesh. Something ancient, wearing the hint of a human shape, something that had practiced our voices, our words, and hadn't quite mastered them. My heart didn't pound, it stopped. We didn't move, we didn't breathe, it did. Slow, wet, hungry. And then it smiled, not with lips, but with bones shifting under skin. The woods didn't feel empty anymore. They felt like a mouth, and we were already inside it. Chase raised his rifle first. His hands were shaking so hard the barrel tapped against his coat zipper. Tyler? He whispered again. The thing tilted its head when he said the name, like a dog hearing a sound it recognized but didn't understand. Its neck cracked softly, vertebrae shifting like dry branches snapping under snow. Then it stepped forward. Not fast, slow, confident, predatory. It didn't rush because it didn't think we could escape. I gripped my rifle so tight my fingers went numb. Logan whispered, Don't aim at the body, head. always the head. The creature inhaled, long and rattling, like air scraping down a hollow throat. Then it spoke again, softer, shaping sound like clay. "Brother." Hearing that word in that voice felt like being skinned alive. My chest tightened so hard I thought I'd pass out. Chase snapped. He screamed, "Where is he?" and fired. The shot cracked through the trees, echoing for miles. The recoil kicked his shoulder back, and for a split second I thought we'd killed it. We didn't. The bullet hit, but the creature barely flinched. It jerked once, like its body remembered pain but didn't feel it anymore. And then it smiled again, not with joy, with hunger. It moved. I didn't see it take a step. One moment it was at the tree line, the next it was inside the firelight so fast the flames sucked inward like wind was being pulled through them. Chase didn't have time to scream. The thing grabbed him, claws sinking into his coat and flesh like wet paper. His rifle fell as he was yanked off his feet and dragged toward the dark. His scream came then, raw, tearing through the night. "No, no, please, let go!" We both lunged forward on instinct, but a sound stopped us cold. A growl, low, layered, like voices stacked on top of each other but not aligned. Human, animal, something in between. Logan fired twice, muzzle flashes strubbing through the trees. The creature vanished deeper into the dark, dragging Chase by one arm like he weighed nothing. For a moment we heard bones scraping over ground, branches snapping, snow crushed under something heavy, then silence. And somewhere deeper in the woods, a scream, farther away than should have been possible in so little time, tearing, gargling, ending abruptly. My brother's voice floated back through the trees, soft, mournful, too close. "Brother." Logan's breath shook in the air like steam trembling. "We're dead," he whispered. "We're already dead." I didn't answer. I couldn't. The trees felt like they were leaning closer, watching. The fire crackled weakly, like it wanted to go out but was too afraid to die here too. Then we heard it again. Not Chase screaming, chewing, wet, deliberate. Something feeding. Something enjoying it. Logan's voice broke. "We need to move." But my legs weren't working. I was frozen in place, staring into the dark, waiting to see glowing eyes, claws, bone, death coming for us next. Logan grabbed my jacket and yanked me hard enough to snap me out of it. "We move, now." We grabbed our packs and ran, not away from the fire, but along the tree line, staying just inside the faint reach of the light. Not brave enough to leave it fully, not stupid enough to stay inside it either. Branches tore at our coats and faces, snow crunched under our boots. Every breath felt like breathing knives. Behind us, somewhere in the black, something big moved, keeping pace. Not running, just following, hunting. We didn't talk. Talking felt like giving it permission to answer. After what felt like hours but was probably minutes, we turned downhill toward a creek Tyler used as a landmark. If we could reach the river, the terrain might slow it. That's what we told ourselves. Hope is delusion when you're prey. Logan slipped on frost, caught himself on a tree and hissed in pain, twisted my ankle. I opened my mouth to tell him to keep moving, and then we heard it again. Not behind us now, ahead. A whisper threaded through the trees. "Oh." Tyler's voice again, closer, too close. Then deeper in the forest, another voice, raw meat scraping against sound, whispered, "Here." Something rustled to our right, then our left, then behind, 3 places at once. My vision blurred. "Logan," I whispered. He didn't respond. I looked over, and his eyes were wide, focused on something behind me. Slowly, I turned, and there it stood again, just feet away, tall, bone-thin, mouth open like a wound. Blood glistened on its chin, Chase's blood. It leaned forward, scenting the air near my face like a dog smelling food, breath ice cold and rotting. Its voice scraped out of a throat that didn't remember how to be human. "Run." It didn't say it as a warning. It said it as a promise. Logan screamed, not a battle scream, but the kind a person makes when their soul breaks. He fired point blank into its chest. It didn't move, didn't bleed, just blinked slowly, as if annoyed. Then it lunged. I don't remember running. I just remember the feeling of being ripped out of reality. Logan's scream tore through the trees behind me as I crashed through branches and snow, sprinting blindly into the dark like an animal fleeing slaughter. I didn't look back because I didn't want to see him die, because I knew if I looked, it would see me looking, and it would enjoy that. I don't remember how long I ran. Minutes, hours. Time didn't mean anything anymore. Only fear did. Branches whipped my face. Roots clawed at my boots. My lungs burned like I'd swallowed fire. But stopping meant dying, and dying meant being taken. Somewhere behind me, something moved through the forest. Not crashing, not stumbling, just gliding like it didn't touch the ground. I burst out onto a frozen creek bed and almost fell. The ice cracked under my weight. Thin, early winter ice, deadly, but I didn't care. Better to drown than be eaten alive. I forced my legs forward, each step sending webbed fractures across the ice. Behind me, the woods fell silent, too silent. I reached the middle of the creek when I heard it again. My brother's voice, soft, shaking, just behind the tree line. Help! Not a cry, a lure. I shut my eyes. It wouldn't sound like him if he was still alive. Whatever I had left of him wasn't in this world anymore. Snow drifted across the ice. The forest held its breath. Then, the crunch of footsteps on snow. Slow, heavy, deliberate. It stopped at the creek's edge. I stared down at the ice, terrified to look, terrified to breathe. Then the voice came again, closer, too close. Brother! A shadow stretched across the ice toward me. Antlers, limbs like broken sticks. A head tilted unnaturally like it was studying prey it didn't need to hurry to kill. I forced my legs to move, but the ice cracked louder. A sound like a scream frozen in glass. I couldn't run. I couldn't fight. There was nothing left but one desperate thought. If I fall through, maybe it won't follow. The creature leaned forward, bones creaking like winter trees. Its breath crawled across the ice and wrapped around my ankles, cold and damp. I whispered to myself, voice shaking, "I'm sorry, Tyler." The ice beneath my feet snapped. A gunshot exploded behind me. Then another. Wood splintered. Something screeched. Not human, not animal, something ancient and starving. Voices yelled my name. Real voices. Frantic, human. A spotlight burst through the trees. Search team. Hands grabbed me, dragging me back to shore as the ice gave way beneath my feet. The forest behind me erupted in movement, snapping branches, guttural howls, something huge retreating into the dark, and then silence. Just the wind, just the world, just safety, or something pretending to be it. I woke up in the hospital room. White walls, warm blankets, people saying I was lucky. I didn't feel lucky. Logan's body was never found. Chase's either. They said hypothermia causes hallucinations, that I was traumatized, that I saw a bear or grief twisted my memory or shock filled in blanks with horror. They didn't go back for Tyler. I didn't ask them to. Late at night, when the nurses stopped checking in, I hear scratching outside the window, soft, faint, like fingernails dragging slowly down glass. Some nights, I hear him call my name, brother, and every time I whisper back the same thing, voice shaking, tears burning. I'm not him. The scratching always stops, but it never leaves. It waits, hungry, and somewhere out there, in the endless dark of those trees, a voice still practices my name, learning how to say it just right for when it comes back.